The name's Mabus, and welcome to the final week of the Month of Zelda Moments. This week we will be ranking the top 5 most memorable moments from The Legend of Zelda. These moments are the leftover moments that I felt were significant enough to be recognized, but they didn't easily classify in the previous topics. Now, it's not that they weren't good enough to make the previous lists, but more so they just didn't fit to any of the categories. And there's no way in hell I'm leaving some of these out of this mega month. I don't know about everyone else, but to me, there are a few things in this world that are more satisfying than when you just come off the pump of finishing a dungeon in Spirit Tracks and decide to explore the newly cleansed realm. The basic action of slamming the Spirit Train into full gear as the overworld theme starts up in the background is surely something to take note of. You know, it's the simple things in life, really. The Skybook fetch quest in Twilight Princess is a lengthy one that can somewhat slow down your progress in your adventure. But that's never something I focus on while I'm doing it, and there are 3 main reasons why. 1. It lets you try out more uses of your new Dominion Rod. Can't complain there. 2. It gives you closure to the Ilya storyline and she gets her memory back. 3. It makes you feel as if you are discovering mega secrets to a location that most people up until this very point have only considered to be a myth. 4. You get to ride around on Epona through the beautiful fields of Hyrule. And 5, you discover a hidden village, and get to have a good old western shootout with some Bokoblins in town. Oh wait, there's only supposed to be 3 reasons. Oh well.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
I can comfortably say without a doubt that I have never felt so in awe in the presence of Skipper's Retreat than I ever have in any Zelda location, including the places yet to be on this list. This entire location is fun to climb, explore, and look around, but it's not until you get into Skipper's Shack that you really assimilate the surroundings and backstory of what this place used to be. Dusting a millennia of sand off the furniture revealed pictures and notes of Skipper, his crew, and his family, and how happy he was in his prime back in the day. A kind of bliss that one can only hope to achieve. I remember the first time I played this part of the game. I just sat there on the stool for like 3 minutes, completely absorbed by what I just witnessed. And that's something I still do to this very day, even on replays. Now, I wasn't one of the lucky ones who managed to play Ocarina of Time before Twilight Princess, but that doesn't mean that the Temple of Time still didn't amaze me. The very entrance of this dungeon has you walk through a seemingly standalone doorway with nothing on the other side. Except inside the doorway itself is a black and white barrier that once passed through showcased the Temple of Time in all its majesty. Back when it wasn't a shambly moss-grown mess. Back in time. With the original Temple of Time theme playing in the background. During my first playthrough, the awe I felt lasted for several minutes before I entered the very temple itself. I couldn't believe what just happened. I could only imagine how I would have felt if I had played Ocarina of Time before this game. The compounded nostalgic factor to what I just went through would have probably thrown me a stroke. Perhaps it was all for the best. On my first playthrough of Twilight Princess, I was, like in many other Zelda games, very immersed in the storyline. All of these tales of this mysterious place called the Twilight told by Midna throughout the course of the game had me very intrigued about where this place was and what was its purpose. Even the cutscenes that showed the various parts of the Twilight Realm were so cool. I instantly wanted to know more. But I never once actually thought that I would ever get to visit this place. Not even when collecting the mirror shards. I don't know why, but I thought this was just backstory footage. Not somewhere I'd actually get to go in the game. So you can only imagine what I felt like once I warped through the mirror and set foot on the Twilight Realm for the first time. It looked just like in the earlier cutscenes, and I realized, oh shit, I actually get to go visit this mystical place of shadows. I spent the first 10 minutes or so just walking around, looking at the environment around me, taking it all in. The look of the sky, the architecture of the buildings, the technology and magic their denizens used, and all the colors associated with everything. It was purely beautiful. The name's Mabus, and that wraps up the Month of Zelda Moments. And if some of your favorites didn't make any of these lists, it can only mean one thing, that The Legend of Zelda is far too good to be limited to only 20 great moments. So in the meantime and in between time, stay tuned for more.